Hello for those that are joining. Today we're going to discuss the topic of fear of judgments and the triggers that we experience in our day-to-day and how to shift this into our fullest expression. Hello. Hi, Francisca. So amazing to have you. Hi, Laurel. Awesome. Beautiful. Hi, Georgia. Amazing. Those that are joining. So, we all experience this fear of judgment, this fear of rejection. And today I want to talk about this topic because this is something that tends to hold us back from a next level success. It tends to hold us back from our career expansion and also from a thriving relationship. So, who here tends to be perfectionist or tends to have lack of clarity or self-doubt or imposter syndrome? Because it's going to manifest this fear of rejection in triggers, in self-doubt, in lack of clarity, in how we relate as well, in comparison. Okay, some are saying yes. Beautiful. Hi, bye. Kathy. Lovely. Okay, we're going to start by writing down in what parts of our life we tend to experience these triggers. And these triggers can show in comparison. These triggers can show up in maybe when you see a woman expressing in her authenticity or her sensuality or her feminine energy, or when you see someone that is making more money than you and from a different place. So we're going to start with an exercise of writing down what tends to trigger you, because we're going to use this for the process that we're going to do today. Hi, Ola. Beautiful to have you again. We're just starting to write down what tends to trigger us, okay? So whoever wants to write it in the chat may. What tends to trigger you from other women or other men? And I gave different examples. Maybe the sexuality, or a woman in her feminine, or someone that is making money but from a different place, or that is in a career that is more connected to their purpose versus a career with a sole focus of money. Or maybe a trigger can be someone that is making money through ease versus struggle. And whoever wants to share it, amazing. Triggers are wisdom. So when we start owning them, when we start taking responsibility for where this reflects or mirrors in our life, we can start shifting, and we are going to awake a part of ourselves that without this, it wouldn't exist. And this can show up in different areas, in the physical body, in the relationships, in the money. So whoever wants to share it, please do. Whoever wants to write it, I'm going to give you a minute. Hi, Susie. Okay. And I'm going to give an example with a common trigger that appeared in many of you that messaged me, and also when you voted, okay? Okay, I love it. I'm triggered by other people when they lack confidence. Okay, explain that deeper. Or when you lack confidence. Maybe when you see someone that is doubting or insecure. And while you respond, I'm going to give an example. Okay, so a common pattern, for example, that shows up especially in women in women that are very career driven or successful driven, which tends to be more the masculine pole, because we tend to experience this career from a masculine perspective, which is more doing, which is more actioning, which we start to disconnect from this love, from this sensuality. Okay, so a part of us, when we tend to be triggered by someone, that is connected to the femininity or more their beauty or more their love, this is because a part of us wants to express that way or express more their feminine energy, and a part of you doesn't allow yourself to express it due to this fear of rejection. I'm going to read your comments. Beautiful. Okay. Others people lack of confidence when they come across as doubting themselves. I get triggered about fake beauty. Okay, beautiful. Lovely. So this is good. This is good, because when we have judgments towards other people, if a part of us had nothing to heal, we would feel neutral. We wouldn't pay even attention. Okay? But when a part of us does feel like this icky sensation in our body, so for example, Francisca, while I'm talking to you right now, if we feel like an icky sensation in our body, this is great, because it's reflecting a part of us that we came here to alchemize, to transform. Okay? So judgments, triggers are our cue to a next level of expansion. Why? If a part of you gets triggered, for example, with this beauty part, it's not that you want to do that. It is that a part of you would like to connect more to this beauty consciousness or this feminine energy, and you're not allowing yourself to express that because all of the associations that you have around that. So maybe for you being a woman, I'm going to give an example of one of my clients, that one of her biggest triggers was connected to when she would see a woman in her sexual expression or in her sensuality, in her femininity, and she was very career driven and very in her masculine. And a part of her, she was looking for expressing more from this feminine energy, from this ease, from this love, from this sensuality, but she wasn't allowing herself to express that way because as when she was a child, more than a child, she was a teenager, she would get rejected. She would be pushed out of the group when she would express this part of herself. Okay? This is why when I say shifting fears to living more in authenticity looks unique for every human being. And when we have a desire, let's say connected more to a beauty, let's say connected more to money, it's because there is something about that desire that we came here to evolve and heal. So observe, hola Francisca, observe what parts of you, when you tend to be more maybe in this feminine energy, or when you were very connected to this femininity as a child or as a teenager, there was a point in your life that something happened, that you were rejected, or that someone projected their own fears and insecurities, that you started to also hide that part. Okay? Or maybe you saw this with your mum. So for you, Ola, if a part of you, when someone is doubting themselves, feels very triggered, you probably don't allow yourself to not feel insecurity, when we all at some point have this part. And this, I'm saying this with so much love, because this work is about self-compassion towards ourselves. But without being honest and being honest with ourselves and taking responsibility, there cannot be any transformation. Everything that somebody mirrors, it's within ourselves. So this is the part where I mentioned that the first step is responsibility. And responsibility is not judging ourselves. Responsibility doesn't come from blaming yourself or anybody else. Responsibility is not guilt. Responsibility is like, wow, there is this life, this physical dimension, call it money, call it a woman, call it a man, that is showing a part of me. And if I start to look within myself, I can start to shift and expand into this next level of myself that is more authentic, that is more at peace, that is more expansive, that is more connected to love. So observe your life without judgment and see these parts that make you feel icky, because this is only reflecting the part of you that wants to express. I would feel very triggered, like you girls, you ladies, with these things as well, okay? And especially with sexuality. With a woman that I remember seeing this woman that is connected to also this world of coaching or personal growth, and a part of me, when I would see her like dancing in such liberation, it would piss me off. I would be like, she's in business, why is she shaking her booty? Like, I don't get this. Like, you don't do this in business. And this was such an opportunity for me to go within. And what I would see is a part of me wanted to connect more to this liberation, to this expression, because I have practices, embodiment practices that I heal through movement, which I guide my clients to it. They are embodiment practices, and it's a healing practice for you to transform emotions and stagnant energy into more pleasure and love. And it's through movement. So this woman back in the days, I would say like a year ago or so, not long ago, this would trigger me a lot. It would trigger me a lot. And instead of blaming or unfollowing, I would go like, okay, this is interesting. I would become curious. This is interesting. What is this mirroring me? So, here you are. Oh, Sandri, I love that you're here, because I'm just talking about your favorite topic. Triggers connected to sexuality. So I would see this woman like dancing in her total expression and liberation, and that would piss me off, because I wouldn't associate success, a business success, to shaking your ass, for example. Because the conditioning that for me, like the conditioning that I had before, is that type of practice was more connected to objectifying a woman and this and that, when it was a healing practice. So that would piss me off a lot. And a part of me would block more money to enter, because I wasn't being me in my total expression and authenticity. Okay? So observe what parts of you feel this emotions, okay? And you're going to see it in different areas, okay? This is always going to be within ourselves, but when we take responsibility, again, we can transform this. If we keep projecting in the outside, look at this woman or look at this man, what the hell are we doing? Like, what are they doing? We are never going to shift this, okay? So, I love this. I have triggers with women that are slow. I do not understand how they can sell. Okay, when you say slow, Sandri, this is usually when they are not doing anything, right? Clarify this, because this is going to be a big one for many. With women that are slow. Basically, women that are not doing, no? I'm going to assume. If you can clarify that, amazing. If not, I'm going to go through that assumption. Okay, so if you are feeling triggered with someone that is not in the constant doing, it's because we've placed in a pedestal the doing, the actioning. And this is very cultural. It's like, just look now in summer. What we tend to do is like, oh, you've worked so much the whole year. You deserve a holiday. Oh, you deserve it now. You've been doing so much that you just deserve to stop. When this should be part of our daily like practices, slowing down and actually going within. That have no inner fire. Okay, I associate for you inner fire, like this energy of fire that you and me, for example, have. It is actually masculine. It is actually like this part of this doing, this fire that we have. So a part of us, this was me as well, would feel again very like, look at this woman, what she's not doing anything and she's receiving, like, so this is only reflecting that we associate this worthiness to this doing. So it's going to be very difficult for us to actually stop and receive. And this can look like, oh yeah, I'm in the swimming pool, but I have to do something like read, or I have to be productive. If I actually stop, I feel guilt. And that is a self-sabotage mechanism to receive more money, pleasure, love, joy with ease. So you don't have to understand anything. When you tell me like, I do not understand how they can sell, no, how they can make money. You don't have to understand anything. It is really that person, their subconscious beliefs, feels worthy to receive without having to prove herself. That's it. So I'm going to put like just a famous example that everybody like knows, which is the Kardashians. The Kardashians are very connected to this feminine, no, but I wouldn't say the feminine energy. Actually, it is quite a masculine consciousness for me, because the feminine for me is more represented to love, the slowing down, the sensuality. But they are women that maybe you see that they are not constantly doing, or maybe they're delegating more, but they are receiving millions and millions. A part of them feels worthy to receive that level of success without having to do. Maybe they have attached their worth to this external beauty, and that's the only way they allow themselves to receive. Okay? So this is about observing where are we attaching our worth. For some people it can be their intelligence. That was definitely me, and it would reflect in how many careers I kept studying because I placed all my worth in my intellect, let's call it, and that's how I felt worthy to receive. And this is very Spanish conditioning, culture conditioning. So maybe you've placed your worth on the body, or on your beauty, or on the intellect, or even in your money. So if we are attaching constantly this worth in the external, we are going to only allow ourselves to experience this receiving, which is the feminine energy, when we have that. When we have that beauty, when we have that intelligence, when we have X titles or X degrees or da-da-da. And when we don't have that externally, we feel worthless. And this is something that we all do at some level. This is why it's so important to cultivate your worth from the inside. And your worth from the inside starts by seeing and unlocking your unique gifts. And from your unique gifts and showing up with those gifts, you are opening that channel to receive. But if we associate only our receiving or our worth to this external, it's going to be very difficult for us to open more, expand this inner container to receiving from a complete different state, which is maybe slowing down, stopping, not doing, because maybe you've created a system or whatever. Yeah. Hi, Nemi. So nice to have a man here. Amazing. Well, I have several here. Also, Chris and Pablo. Okay. So nice to have you. So we're talking about triggers. We are owning our triggers to start shifting them. That is the purpose. Because we are shifting these triggers, which comes from a fear of being judged, okay, to more authenticity, to more confidence, to shine into your fullest. So this is going to manifest maybe also in when we are very doubtful, when we don't know what to do. We don't lack clarity or direction, or we are very perfectionist. Until this isn't perfect, I'm not going to do. So observe, I want you to bring awareness to where does this reflect? What behaviors? Judgments, triggers, self-doubts, perfectionism, maybe procrastinating. Hi Bessie, my love. So happy to have you here. So for me, as an example where this would represent this fear would be one in procrastination and the other one on busyness. And these are two poles, okay? We tend to procrastinate when we are very much in the feminine, but we lack the masculine, okay? Because the masculine is connected to our strength. The masculine is connected to this direction. The masculine is connected to this presence. So when we are connected to this masculine, healed masculine, which both men and women have, okay? I'm not talking about masculinity or femininity. I'm talking about energies, okay? Both men and women have masculine and feminine energy. So for someone that tends to procrastinate, or they call themselves, I'm lazy, this and that, they are probably lacking this masculine energy. It is not that active within themselves due to the associations or the pain they carry around this masculine. Okay, which tends to stem from dad, the relationship that you had with dad. So for someone that doesn't take action, or that is more slow, let's say, or knows that they have to do X but they don't do it, it is all the belief systems they carry around taking that action, around that masculine energy. And when we are in the pole of busyness, which happens a lot to successful driven people, they are very much in the pole of busyness, doing, they tend to be more in the masculine, and they are lacking that connection to the feminine, because we tend to associate this love, this sensitivity, this intuition, this nurture, which is the feminine energy that both men and women have, to weakness. So since we associate to weakness, we don't want to express this part of ourselves, so we hide it and we go to the other pole. So observe what tends to be your dynamic. I've been in both. I've definitely been in both. Very disconnected to my feeling, to the feminine, which because all the pain that I carried, and also very connected to the feminine and lacking the masculine, and I wouldn't take the actions. So I would probably, it would reflect staying in a job that I didn't want to, due to the fear of maybe starting my business. Okay? So see, and if you want to share in the chat, I would love to read you, just to see where you guys are. And from there, let's see what comes next. What tends to be like your behavior? Because this is reflecting, again, I'm not taking certain actions, or I'm constantly doing. But behind this, there is a big fear. This fear of being rejected, which every human being here in this planet Earth came here to heal deeper layers, to transform them. Okay, I'm going to read. If you want to share. Where does it tend to reflect? And this is the part of self-awareness. Because from self-awareness, we are starting to see what belief systems, what fears, how they are impacting our decisions, our actions. And from there, they are driving to our results. So what we see in life, the external or every action, really, it's stemming from a belief system. It's stemming from the fears that we experience and that we carry. Self-doubt, lack of clarity, all this comes from that, okay? Okay, I'm in freeze stage now, not knowing if to do or relax and take my time. Okay, this is perfect. So this freeze stage, okay, which is a nervous system response, right now, it is telling that a part of you, okay, feels very triggered to take certain actions. So for me, for example, that I know that you've been expanding, so like you've quantum leaped this year, girl. So you've quantum leaped and your nervous system is like, okay, what is happening here? So many things are entering my life that your nervous system cannot sustain that level of so much love, so much expansion, abundance, this and that, because it's not used to. So this is when we tend to sabotage and tend to go back. So this isn't about doing more, Sandra. It's not about doing more. It is about actually observing what is happening within you behind those actions. What stories come to you, or what fears. Observe that. Okay, I love this. Okay, thanks for being so honest, you guys. When I read you, you're amazing. I love this. It's actually odd, as I feel that I'm too masculine and yet slow and lazy in a way. Okay, we're both. We are feminine and masculine, but we tend to be more predominant of one side or another. If we are very oriented to this money part, business part, we tend to be more in the masculine. So this is why I work with many people, the feminine, because they are more in the masculine, okay? So at the same time, this part that you feel slow and lazy, look how interested that you brought at the beginning of the live session, that what you felt triggered is in the person that is more or slow, or doesn't have this confidence. And that part of you, that's the part of you that you are unconsciously rejecting. This is why you create projections and mirrors to see the parts of you that you're suppressing, that you're not allowing. What is really the shadow work? Shadow work, many people think that shadow is something wrong. The shadow work is seeing the parts that are reflected in our life that we feel triggered, owning them, because those are the parts within ourselves that we have repressed, that we have rejected, that they were made wrong. So for you, if you were, for example, praised or had a lot of external approval and validation from mom and dad when you were in the doing, when suddenly you stop, you perceive yourself as lazy and not maybe worthy of that success and love. So of course, someone like that would trigger you, because this is the part that I would start to dive deep in and shift and transform. Sorry, the noise. Yeah. Hi, Mariana, Lily, Ira. So beautiful to have you. So we're talking about the shadow right now, the parts that feel repressed. Okay, that is the self-awareness. What is this got to do with fear of judgment, Anna? Everything. Behind every projection that we see in our life, behind every action that we are taking, there is an emotion and set of beliefs. And the root cause tends to be a fear. In this case, this fear of rejection I'm talking about. I did have a lot of external validation indeed. Too much. Too much. So this is why a part of you feels very, very confident. I see it, very secure. But then there is a part of you, which we all have, because that's the law of polarity, that also has a part that with fears and insecurity. All of us do. But this isn't about hiding it. This is about, wow, there is a part of me that has this fear or this insecurity. And this is the part of me that I tend to hide because I don't want to be rejected. And that is where our superpower lies. When we own this part of us, when we start to see this part of us, that is where the medicine lies. That is where the medicine and wisdom lies. That's where your gifts come. The deeper that I go into parts of myself and acknowledge this parts of me that I didn't allow myself to express or that were repressed because as a teenager or child they were made wrong, the more that I dive deep into it, the more confidence and security comes. And it's not a confidence that comes from fake it till you make it. It is a confidence and security that comes from going deep into my fears, into those emotions that we tend to avoid, into those patterns that are holding us back from this next level of expansion. This is why I'm asking you these questions, so you actually stop and write. You can go back to this in a replay and actually go deeper in this journaling. What was this mirroring me? What parts of me tend to feel more triggered or have self-doubt? What would happen if I took these actions? Maybe someone would judge me. What would happen if I would become this version of me that is more connected to her beauty or her love or her sensuality or money or whatever? That someone maybe would reject this part of me. And that is the part that is not allowing us to play big. This is when we are playing safe and staying in a comfort zone. But behind these fears lies the biggest gift within you. That when you start unlocking that, that's when we are shining to our fullest. So shining to our fullest doesn't mean being someone else. Shining to our fullest means allowing ourselves, our desires expressed through us, instead of judging them. And this can represent in so many ways. Hi, Maria, my love. I'm so glad to have you. I miss you, girl. I miss you. She keeps traveling. Okay, beautiful. Questions here, questions. This envy, this jealousy, these self-doubts, these fears, they're only teaching what we truly desire for us, guys. So I want you to bring me things, bring me questions. How can we start shifting this? How can we start shifting this? How can we start shifting the fears into more authenticity, into more confidence? First, through honesty, which I love those that are participating in the chat, because this only reflects how open you are as well to receiving support. And this is everything, because without being open, we can't transform this. So the first step is being open. When someone, this is so funny, many of my clients, they're like, and I'm going to bring you my partner, but he's closed. I'm like, then don't bring him. When he opens, when he decides, then he will take the action. Then they will take the action. How to heal it, says Francisca. Okay, beautiful. So first, being open, being honest. Okay, that is the first step. Then taking responsibility. How? Through bringing awareness to what life is reflecting you. This is everything. What is people around with money reflect me? What do they reflect me? Maybe we have this story, oh, that you're not spiritual enough, and I want to connect to my spirituality and to my love, and having money is the opposite. Question all those BS stories. Money is an amplifier of who we are. But many people that want a deep desire to connect to their purpose, they reject so much this money part, because they have so many associations around it, around having money, that this will make me less spiritual or less loving or this and that. No, again, money is an amplifier. But first bring awareness to that area. Then bring awareness to the areas well connected to the feminine, which is the love, the sensuality, the sexuality. What does that trigger? To the beauty consciousness as well. What does that trigger you? So bring awareness to someone, I don't know, that shows or expresses through their body. What parts of us are we not owning? So, number one, again, being open and honest. Number two, taking responsibility through what is life mirroring me. Okay? And number three, start seeing these parts, these stories that we have attached as well to our worth. This external validation that we tend to look through our partners or through somebody else, through our boss, through our team. We tend to look through this external validation through the outside. See where you tend to look this outside, because what we're doing is becoming more self-sourced. This is how we're going to develop a strong self-worth. And this is how we're going to show up more in authenticity, because we no longer attach this worth to external, to what others might think about me, or through on my body, or of my intelligence, or if I'm secure or not secure. No, this is about being raw, being real. And desires are going to show up again in unique ways, that we came here to express them uniquely. Okay, I'm going to read the questions. So those are the 3 steps that I'm going to give you today. Okay, again, our triggers and our fears are teaching us the parts that want to express. So I want you to be really honest from a place, oh my God, I love you so much, girl, boy, that I'm going to start looking within. I'm going to read the question. How does the lack of parental support in one's interest during childhood manifest itself in one's behavior and belief system later in life? God damn it. Boy, I love this question. In everything. In everything, okay? So, this is another live. I'm going to try to keep it simple, but this is really a really profound question, so I really appreciate that you bring it. The first roles that we have in life are mum and dad. Mum and dad are going to represent for us the relationship that we have within us with our feminine and masculine energy. So I'm going to put the common example that I see in men, okay? Because this was a question asked by a man, so I'm talking to a man right now. To men. This is a big pattern in men. Men that have been raised up just by by a woman, by a mum, because there was a divorce or the dad was not there. This is a common pattern that I see in the men that come to my energy. When this happens, what the woman, the mum, starts to operate from the masculine. And the biggest wounding and belief system that this child tends to develop is, I didn't have a woman present in my life. So what they tend to look externally is for this love and this tenderness and this approval from a woman. Because there wasn't, and this was also a woman that came to my event and she brought it. She was like, my teenager hates me. Those were her words. I'm like, okay, give me more context. Why is he so triggered by you? It's like, he keeps saying to me that I'm a man instead of a woman, that he misses his mum. And this is such a common pattern in many men. They are lacking this feminine figure, which it's the most important figure, because this is how our emotions and love develop in a more healthy way. And when we find a woman that is disconnected to that, we are missing this. So this, how can it impact in our success, in our money, or in our careers? For a man, this can look like or attracting women that tend to be more controlling, because this is what they've experienced, and maybe we're missing this love and tenderness. And it can also represent in a career expansion in which we're very disconnected to our sensitivity, to our love, to our emotions. So we are very in the doing, in this unhealthy doing, and very disconnected to this emotional part, because we see it maybe as wrong, as weak. And this happens even a lot in relationships in which there is violence. Why? Because for the man, that feminine figure represents so much pain, the pain that they carry within themselves, that they don't want this feminine close to them. They reject this sensitivity, they reject this love. And this is because this man carries so much pain. So it is going to impact in the way that we create money. The way that we're creating money, the way that we're creating our relationship dynamics, the way that we're creating success. And if we start to heal the relationship with our feminine energy, those patterns, your mindset, all the associations that we have, what we are going to feel is more tuned to a heart. This is a man that opens his heart, but also has presence, direction, is in his doing, has clarity. If not, this man is going to develop this false mask, but inside is very insecure. So this is about balancing and integrating both energies. This isn't about rejecting one or the other, okay? In a woman, this is going to show a lot in their success. They are very connected to this doing, but then they don't connect to this love or this emotional part, which is where our wisdom lies. Because the more you attune to your emotions in business, the more, for me, my gift is that. And that is my gift of also getting to understand you and giving you the tools and the resources you need to expand. So if I wouldn't be tuned into my feminine, I couldn't be guiding anybody here. That is the biggest power. And in sales as well, if you don't know someone's need, how are you going to help them or serve them? That is business. Business is a service through a service, and knowing what the market needs, you can deliver something that helps that customer or client. That is the importance of the feminine energy as well. So we all have this part of the masculine, which is, again, this doing and maybe direction, but we are missing the connection to our feminine energy. And here's the thing. The more tuned we are, a woman or man that is truly strong and confident has the balls and ovaries to go all in within themselves. And that can only happen through the feminine, through tuning into your body. But if we have pain around that feminine, we are very afraid to tune into our body, to our emotions. So bring awareness to that part. More questions? Or is this clear? Because it is like such an it's such a deep topic that I'm trying to summarize it in a way that it can start clicking for you. But this is a whole live session. Okay, more questions, guys. I'm going to answer 1 or 2 more questions and then I'm going to close. So before I close this live, bring it on. It's so hot here in Spain. Oh my God. Last questions. Fear of judgments around shining to our fullest, connecting to our authenticity through integrating our feminine and masculine. Ask me anything. Hi, Walter. I miss you today at the beginning. Catch on the replay. Oh, I love this one. God. How do you deal with people whose eyes hurt from your shine? This is such a good one. Oh, please. Okay. This is what happens. Yeah, it will be uploaded, my love. So, when the more you shine and the more real you are, and people notice this. People notice, I know in an instant, in 10 seconds, if someone is truly connected to the realness, to the authenticity, or if they are bringing me a mask, which I wouldn't judge the mask, because the masks that we create, which are mechanisms that lack authenticity, come from fear, okay? So I wouldn't judge it, but if that person is open, I would help them, okay? But we all bring masks. It's a way to protect ourselves from being hurt. So the more real we are, and realness comes from embracing your light and your shadow. No, I'm going to bring this perfect version of myself, and I'm going to say today this in the live, but Anna, be careful, don't say this in the live, because what maybe others think that you're too intense or this and that and da. I wouldn't be myself. I would be this version that maybe others want from me. That is not being real. That is a person that is not shining to the fullest. Now, if we bring this authenticity, this realness, from embracing these parts of ourselves that we also rejected, from integrating this light and this shadow, the feminine also and the masculine, when we show up in that total expression and liberation, that is freedom. Now, what happens? This is, I'm going to put, since Ola asked, this is Ola, okay? And now this is a bunch of people. They're like, oh, I don't like this version of you, Ola. This version of you that dances. Oh, you were such a business, corporate woman. What are you doing with the Ola that I know? This Ola that is so liberated. I like, just bring me back old Ola. Bring me back old Ola. Why are they projecting that on you, Ola? And I'm making this up, okay? They are projecting that on you because a part of them, these bunch of people, would love to express to their fullest, but they are not allowing themselves. So they feel so triggered by your total expression and liberation, this freedom that you carry, that they project it because it would hurt them a lot, taking responsibility because it's a wounding that they came here to heal. But instead of taking responsibility, the mechanism that we do is project. Because projection is a mechanism for us to not feel. And if we don't feel, we can't heal and we can't evolve. So we tend to blame, in this case, Ola, I don't like this version of you. Bring me back the old one that was in her corporate, more serious. This fun, funny, sensual, sexual version of you, I don't like her. No, bring me back the other one. Why? Because they want to express it. So how can we deal with these people, understanding that they are living a life in which they are very frustrated because they are oppressed. They are oppressed because they are suppressing parts of themselves that they are making wrong, because in the past they were made wrong. So really, when you start to understand this, you have more compassion to these people that they're in that journey. And these people, it's also us at some point. We do this as well. But this is the importance of doing this work and taking responsibility. It's not the other, it's what I am feeling. Now, your work, Ola, would be, if this is you and this is the bunch of people and they are hurting you when you shine, it's what is the emotion that these bunch of people are reflecting in me? If you deal with that part and those patterns, you are not going to attract no longer these people. And if you do, you're just not going to feel triggered. You are just going to give 3 Fs. So you don't have to tell them that. You can send them this live if you want. You can send them this live. But personally, like if you feel like expressing your truth, express your truth. That is, for me, number 1. But it's not about educating them, because there are people that don't want to be coached. As simple as that. If they are open and they are and you're going to feel if that person is open to heal and transform and evolve, you can express them what you know now based on the mindset understanding of yourself and how human patterns work. But if you don't feel like expressing anything, you don't have to, Queen. Your only work is, what is this bunch of people making me feel? Because this is what you came to heal. That is the subconscious. Your subconscious is going to show up in projections. Call it bunch of people, call it money, call it the external world. But it's only reflecting your patterns, your limiting beliefs, your fears, your wounds. If you acknowledge that part, boom, magic happens. Because you're taking ownership, accountability, which is uncomfortable as fuck. This is why this work is only for those that have courage to go within themselves. But what I know with certainty, those are the people that live a life of freedom, love, expansion, and joy. Because they are no longer in the golden cage. Okay, that makes sense. I adapt myself to others because of the fear of being alone. Beautiful. Thanks for your honesty. We do that because biologically we are wired to a need to belong. And when we feel that this need of belonging, we're going to be left out, this triggers parts of our primitive brain, the biology that we are hardwired for, and we have this fear of being alone, which for the mind, it's like a fear of death. But from this understanding yourself, you can start shifting also that narrative, reframing your thoughts, your beliefs, and healing those emotions, Walter. So the first step, you're doing it. You are seeing that you tend to be a version of you that you don't truly want to be accepted. Go you. This is courage. This is what I'm talking about. Not everybody has the courage to bring this and be honest with themselves. Because here's the thing, we all have this. There are always deeper layers. I've been doing this work, guys, for more than 11 years. And I would never tell myself, I know this, I've healed this, I'm done. It's not possible. We're in this journey, this human journey, and we came here to feel it all. This is part of the human experience. So there is always a deeper layer to go within, and there is always a next level of expansion in love, in money, abundance, joy, peace. So something that I would never tell myself because this shuts my growth. I know this, I've healed, I've done this work. No, I keep doing actually this work more and more profound. And it's like, wow, I discover a new part of me. And new parts of me awake, which they were never new, they were always within, but they carried pain or limiting stories. So I would hide them. This is the power of this work. Because from your subconscious, from you going deeper within yourself and knowing yourself, you love yourself more and you start to create a reality that is completely different. That is completely different because the only thing that our reality and the men and women that we attract are mirroring us is parts of us. That's it. And this isn't for us to judge ourselves because we are doing the best that we can with the tools that we can in every moment of our life. But it is about saying, wait a minute, I'm going to become curious. I'm going to start looking within. I'm going to start seeing what this is reflecting about me. And that is where the magic happens. Okay? I'm going to answer one last question. So bring it on. I'm loving the questions. Please bring me more. Because really, these lives are for you. I don't know what's in your mind. You have to bring it to me. And I'm going to make it very simple for you to digest and implement. But you have to bring me the questions. What's in your mind? So last question. Okay. No more. So I'm going to close then here. Okay. It's time to own your triggers. It's time to take responsibility. This can only come from self-awareness. The more self-aware you are, and this is a journey of expanding this awareness. This is why I see many clients that come to my energy at the beginning. It's like, I don't know, months go by and like, wow, this is clicking differently. Why is it clicking differently? Because your awareness has expanded. So if I was this little circle, I would see from these lens of lack maybe, or lack of love, or lack of money. And the more I know myself, this awareness starts to expand in a bigger circle. And this is when I see more opportunities, more abundance of everything, love, joy, pleasure. Why? Because we have expanded this awareness. And this is when we see more, this wealth consciousness, love consciousness expands. We attract more. But it was always there. It's always through the lens that we see in this world, okay? So I invite you to start owning those triggers and to put yourself, maybe take an action that is uncomfortable for you, in which you're avoiding to take it due to the fear of judgment. So your body starts feeling safer in being disliked. Because this is a nervous system and a trauma response, which we all came here again to transform. And this is what's holding us back to shine into our fullest. So that is my message. Question, do you have any in person coming up in Marbella? I'd love to join. Yes, my love. I will let you know. I always do it with my clients, but I'm going to do an open door in which I'm joining my clients and others that want to join. Okay, so I'm gonna do one soon in September, because August has been everybody traveling. So I'll let you know, and I'll publish it in my social media as well. For those that want to go deeper, you can always start in my confidence accelerator, which is a 1 month accelerator, and we actually go through the tools and shift this patterns, these fears, okay? And the more we shift them, the more the security just awakes, the confidence awakes, and the authenticity awakes. So that is a good start for you, and you can always book a call with me or my team, okay? Sunshine says, very interested in life. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Sunshine. You can always bring me any question, okay? Thanks for those that joined. I am so, I honor one of you here in this live, opening up and being vulnerable, because this is really what's going to take you to the next level of expansion and growth. So I honor you. I celebrate you. Have a beautiful afternoon. I was like, I have to do this in less than an hour. I did it. Okay, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye for now.